I'm not there. When I'm not shopping, I watch Caribbean Bodytalk.
Welcome once again to BVC's Caribbean Body Talk, where the vision gets clearer every time, and Black history and culture are a part of that vision. As our talk continues, it has brought us to the village of Masamega. This is day 6. Without any further ado, let's go and get permission from the Nana to tour this village. You are watching BVC's Caribbean Body Talk, and this is the village of Masamega. We are here with the Nana. We're going to get permission in order to tour the village and see how these people live. Hello and welcome to Caribbean Body Talk. Could we get permission to tour your village and talk with your people and see what you do here in this village? Thank you very much. Permission has been granted from the Nana, so we will take you on the tour of the village of Masamega. The tour begins right now.
This major food we used to be in this very town.
Tell me, what are they using to make the FuFu? What is that she's putting in the pot?
Cassava. We use cassava to make said FuFu.
And is it just cassava alone that's being...
Cassava and plantain to join it together to make FuFu.
And how long do you continue mashing it?
Okay, it depends. Some cassava are hard, some other one is soft. So we use just about 3 to 5 minutes to mash. After that, it is ready to.
With the cassava that you just saw being made, this soup goes with it. You just saw the cassava being pounded to make FuFu. That FuFu goes well with this soup that's here in this pot. What kind of soup is that?
This is a palm nut soup. This is a palm nut soup. And it tastes delicious. In fact, this is what we use. This particular thing you see, the nuts.
The nuts in that bowl?
This one. When cooked, then we'll pound it. Then we'll mash it to prepare the FuFu. With a combination of tomatoes and other great ingredients to prepare soup. So you can consume the fufu with attached with the soup. You can't consume the fufu alone.
Oh, it must be used with soup.
Yes, of course.
Stay with us. We are surrounded right now by cocoa trees. They're very, very tall. And the nuts from these trees are used for cocoa chocolate. And I'm sure there are many other uses. This is what the coconut looks like inside. I don't think this one is completely ripe. Is it completely ripe? It's not.
Halfway.
It's half ripe. And this is how the coconuts look. And you could eat them? You could eat them?
The outer cover.
And there's a seed inside. Is it a seed that you use for the cocoa?
Yes.
Okay.
This one.
When it's completely ripe, is it brown?
Yes, it's deep brown. So this one, when you collect it like this, you break it and gather it at the farm for about 5 days for it to ferment. After the 5 days, you collect it home. You put it in something like a mat. You have some raffia mats. You put it on the sun and it gets dried. It will depend upon the sun. If the sun is very high, it dries in time. Roughly about 1 week, it gets dried. When it's dried, then you have to go and sell it. So it is a dried one that we export. Sometimes we do the production in Ghana for chocolate, cocoa tea, and other products from cocoa. So this is the fresh one.
And the talk continues. Our guide has told us that this structure that you're looking at right here is the very first structure of the Fanta people. He will tell us a little more about that.
The place is combined with two tribes, the Asins and the Fantis. So this is the first structure of the Fanti was here. And so because they were farmers here, they have different beliefs. So this particular shrine you see here is a shrine that they perform customary rites for their gods, which they believe protects them here because they are farmers.
We are standing right now in front of the first river that was here in this village. Our tour guide will tell us more about that.
This particular river was the river that the first man who came to this side, and almost the first, was using, drinking and preparing his food. He built his hut near to the river just to get water for his uses. Well, this river, formerly everything, the second Nana Mosi was a farmer, got his farm just behind this river. And there is a custom here that before you cross this river to your farm, it's not easy. So we've got a particular thing here which we'll see later. It is on this shrine that we normally perform some customers for the river, because our farms behind the river, we don't go there on certain days, something like Wednesday. We don't cross this river. So on Wednesday, because we don't cross the river, nobody goes into farm on Wednesdays, because our farms were all behind this river. Unless the ordinary days apart from Wednesdays. So on Wednesdays in particular, we don't go to farm here. It's a fixed day because of the river.
And the Torah continues. Okomfo Anokye planted this sword in 1697. So it's 302 years now. He was a traditional priest and at the same time a chief of Aguna in Ashanti. The event took place immediately after the golden stool, which Okomfo Anokye has conjured from the skies, has been landed on the laps of King Osei II, choosing him as the first king of Ashanti nation. After all rituals performed to the golden stool and all the chiefs assembled had sworn to protect the golden stool, Okomfo Anokye planted this sword and said, Ashantis will deliver in unity. He said if anybody tried to take this sword from the ground, that would be the end of Ashanti kingdom. Because when the Ashantis were coming, they were coming in different clans and they came together as a kingdom. So in 1952-53, the white man who built this hospital called Mr. G, he came with a bulldozer and spent 1 month, 2 weeks to take this sword from the ground, but he couldn't. When he dig all the soil around it, want to take the sword up, the sword disappeared. Week time we come and find the sword back. In 1965, a boxer from Accra called Jack Toller, a heavyweight boxer, he came and spent only 2 weeks here to take this sword from the ground, but he couldn't. He heard Muhammad Ali was here in 1960 to visit this hospital. So they sent Muhammad Ali here to see the unity of Ashanti people. Muhammad Ali was here just at the sword, no bad intention to force himself to take the sword from the ground. So when the Ghanaian boxer Jack Toller heard Muhammad Ali was here, couldn't take this sword from the ground, he went to Jujuma and correct some magical powers to come and take this sword from the ground. But you don't have the sword only on the ground. 11 stools were buried under this sword. What? Excuse me, what was buried underneath? 11 stools, divisional stools, those divisional states who formed the Ashanti kingdom. Their black stools were buried under this sword.
So black stools were buried under the sword.
Yeah. After he buried the stools, he collected every fingernails of every chief and the hair of every chief and burned it together and put in palm wine for them to drink and put some on the ground. So when the Ghanaian boxer Jack Toller came with Juju Paris, couldn't succeed, and when he returned home he died. That was 1965. And this particular place Okomfo Anokye prophesied in 1687 that here will be a future hospital for the Ashantis. And the dream came true in 1952-53 when our first president, Osajifo Dr. Nkrumah, commissioned this hospital in 1960. The hospital was named after Okomfo Anokye, the traditional priest. And this particular place one Friday afternoon called FuFu, the one and only which contained the soul and unity of Ashanti people, the golden stool, came from the skies at this particular place. So, that's a little history on the sword, but they still perform all rituals on it. Pouring libation on it every 42 days. So if you have any question about Okomfo Anokye or the sword, you can ask.
So tell me, do people still try to remove the sword?
No. The traditional priest himself, he didn't plant it in the aim of allowing strong men around the world to come and try whether they can remove it.
He founded in the aim of unity. But to the Shanties, they didn't know the aim of the sword. What I'm saying this is that at first here was a secret site. When you were coming here, you saw Okomfo Anokye holding the golden stool on the runabout there. We have a house, a white house in front of him. It looked like the mosque. In the olden days, is where the Ashantis buried their royals. To the Ashantis, where they buried their royals, when they found you walking at the back here, they will cut off your head because there wasn't any hospital, anything here. Here was a light forest, and they weed the light portion here to make their Deba place. So somewhere in 1896, when Prempeh I was captured and deported to Ezra, 30 years in Ezra, there was no king in Ashanti. So here turned as a forest again. 52, 53, when our colonial masters were here to build this hospital for the Ashantis, they sent them here. When they were weeding here and they found out there is something here. But to the Ashantis, they were coming to see what is going on here and they found out there is something here. They thought it's a wonderful thing. That's why they were trying to take it from the ground. But to the Santehere and his chiefs, they knew that is the unity of Ashanti people and they still perform all rituals on it.
Thank you very much, Nana Ofori, for giving us this great history of this sword. Thank you for being on Caribbean Body Talk.
You're welcome.
Stay with us for much, much more in Ghana, West Africa, as BVC continues with its tour. As our tour continues, we'd like to take a moment out to chit-chat with one of the kids of the new millennium here in Ghana. First, let's speak with her mom. Welcome to Caribbean Body Talk.
Thank you.
And your name is?
Mrs. Theresa Ej Mason.
And how are you?
Fine, thank you.
Now, you have just seen the sword. Is this the first time you've seen it?
Yes, please. Yes.
And did you find it very interesting?
Yes, please. Yes.
Now, you are here with your daughter. Is it your daughter who wanted to come here and see the sword?
Yeah. She insisted we come and see the sword.
Okay, let me speak to her for one moment. Okay. And how are you today?
I'm fine.
What's your name?
My name is Mr. James.
And how old are you?
I'm 9 years old.
Did you find seeing the sword very interesting today?
Yes.
Now, do you go to school?
Yes.
What stage are you in?
I'm in stage 3.
Do you have any plans when you become an adult? What do you want to be?
I want to be a teacher like my mother.
Oh, your mom is a teacher. And you like learning. Learning is something that's very important to you?
Yes. I want to travel to America to continue my education.
Oh, that is great. That is very fantastic. Traveling to America and continuing your education. Education is very important. And I'm very happy to know that you are interested in traveling and learning more all over the world. How many brothers and how many sisters do you have?
I have 2 sisters, 1 brother.
It was so nice speaking with you, and I think you're going to grow up to be a beautiful young lady, and you're going to do well with whatever you choose to do. And thank you for speaking with us.
Thank you.
That was one of the kids of the new millennium here in Ghana, West Africa. Specifically, this is the town of Kumasi. Stay tuned. BBC has much more in store for you as the tour of Ghana, West Africa continues. Don't go anywhere. As we continue a tour of the village of Masamega, where we experience the bamboo orchestra and dancers, we are now going to experience how palm wine is made. Stay focused.
He's making the new face for the palm wine to come clear. We did it twice a day, one in the morning and one in the evening.
So right now he's cutting a fresh part in the palm tree itself, and this is done twice a day.
The other one we use, the evening one we use fire. We prepare special fire for such process.
So you have to use fire in order to start the whole process rolling. This is what is done in the mornings.
We use the fire in order to protect it from decaying. Yeah, this is how he is doing. We did. Sorry. Yes, this is how then. Go on.
So does it actually start to burn? Does the inside of the log there, does it?
It kills the germs inside this very hole.
Okay, it prevents germs from forming in the hole.
Usually we drink some, so we have to make it neat for us to enable you to drink it easily.
Okay, after this is done, what's next?
After this one, after the fire, you make the new face for the night till tomorrow morning. So in the morning, we collected all the palm wine into one drum and then take it to the cooking side.
So all night the sap forms inside this hole that you have cut, and then it goes through where you have that piece of metal right there, right? It goes through there into the container that you have on the bottom. And in the morning when you come back, that is filled with the palm wine. Okay. We just showed you the first step in collecting the palm oil from the palm itself. This is the next step.
Then we collect them to the house. You pour it into the container and keep it here for 3 or 4 days for fermenting. So we put it here 3 or 4 days for fermenting. From here, then you gather it here. Okay, yeah. Then you put it here, you collect the fermented one inside here. You notice that this thing is covered because it is the vapor that we need. So by boiling it for 4 or 5 hours, then the vapor comes out through this pipe. Through this pipe. Till it comes to the first step here, enters the water here for cooling system. Then we get another pipe through this side to the second place. Again, the pipe continues through here to the third place to be cooled. Then it comes out this way. That's it. To keep it clean, you put something here in the funnel. Then what comes out here to this container is known that the local gin, aquatessin. We call it aquatessin. It's the Ghana gin, the local gin. So this is how the local gin is made.
What do you do with it? Do you sell it?
Yes.
You sell it?
Yes.
So you bottle it, you put it in containers?
Yes.
And then you sell it. Sweet taste. Sweet taste. Tastes good, but it's not strong enough for me. I need a stronger one.
We use this one for this palm wine in pouring libation to our female gods in order to protect us from sickness, from dying, and protect our farm also to our ancestors and all those things.
As BVC's tour of Ghana, West Africa continues, we have just toured the village of Mesomargor. We have shown you the process of making FuFu. We have shown you the way palm wine is made. We have shown you palm gin. And there are many other things that are very cultural and historical here in this village. Right now, we would like to thank the elders for allowing us permission to enter their village and to document their culture and heritage. Thank you. Thank you very much for allowing us permission to enter your village and to discuss your culture and your rich heritage. Thank you. From BVC Television Network, Caribbean Body Talk. Before I go, I'd like to leave you with this message. Surround yourselves with a few good people. Share love, respect for each other, and knowledge. It will definitely make a difference. I'm Leonard Akins Harley, your host for Caribbean Body Talk, and I'll see you next time.